Hey, what's up guys, in this video we're going to talk about HTML ID attribute. So the HTML ID attribute is used to assign unique ID to an HTML element, and also we need to remember that more than one element cannot have the same ID. So to assign one ID to the h1 tag, we have to use the ID attribute. So I'm going to write ID, and inside the quotation we have to specify the ID. So the ID attribute must be unique within the HTML document, and the ID attribute is used in a style sheet and also used by JavaScript to access and manipulate the element with the specific ID. Like in example, we have specified the ID called my ID. So now we can create one style sheet, and inside the style sheet we can target the ID. So we have to use the hash and then the ID name, and we can target that specific HTML element. So inside that ID we can have the color, we can set the color like green, and while we are using the ID, so the same ID we cannot assign to any other HTML element. So the key differences between the class and ID is a class name can be used by multiple HTML element. So if we create one class called red and we can set the color to red, so we can use that class in the multiple element of our HTML document, but the ID must be unique and only can be assigned to one specific HTML element. And also we can use the ID to create bookmark, which allows the user to jump to one specific part of a web page. Like an example, we have some content inside the p tag, and suppose the p tag is down below, so the paragraph is not visible within the opening page. So now what we can do, we can create some bookmark. So we can make use of the anchor tag, and here we're gonna target for some ID, and inside the href we're going to target for the ID para, and then we're going to assign the same ID to the paragraph tag using the ID attribute. Now we're gonna have some content, so we're gonna say go to para. Now if we click on the link, then we can jump to the content just like one bookmark. So we can use the ID as a bookmark and we can jump to one specific element of the web page. So this is the way we can assign some unique ID to one HTML element, and this way we can specifically target that element, and we can assign some style, or even we can create some bookmark using the ID attribute. So hope you understand the concept. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.